Hi everybody, Phil from Hybrid Me doing a short video on GSPRO and specifically the latest release that came out yesterday. Now this is beta software in development. You see it's version 0.7.5. There's a lot of people using the free beta. I should add it's wonderful that this software is being updated on a daily, if certainly weekly basis. Graphical enhancements, physics changes to get it exactly right, the putting modes that are coming in, which I'll talk to you about shortly. The online tour integration, it's incredible what has been done with this software in a short period of time. And when you contrast that with other software that is out there receiving very little updates or anything of significance, this really is wonderful software. And I certainly hope that some of the launch monitor manufacturers may wish to consider integrating with the software. People like SkyTrack and FlightScope, this could be absolutely ideal. But anyhow, we've been there before. So I'm going to now discuss what's come into the new mode. It's basically lots of putting things. You can see there in the bottom right corner what they are. And I'm going to talk you through them and show you those now. Firstly, I will load up Bonville. And you'll see that when I get here now, we have some new options. We have BLI enable on this left-hand side. You can't see them because there's my webcam's in the way. I don't know if that'll work. BLI enable, HLA correct. That's all you need to see. And that is how things are today. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll see that when I drag a little marker around on the green, there's a little line at the bottom of the flag stick, and it shows the break for every point on the green. That's what we've used, and that is what's disappeared on the tour. It's been disabled as of this point because people are getting too much information, and the best putters are holding way too many putts. And the intention from the guys that run the tour is to be able to get some of the putting stats a little bit in line with how it would be in real life. So that is now going to be disabled, but I'll show you what it means. HLA correct. That also means that there is some forgiveness built into the putting. It's not like having straight putting mode, which some other software has, where no matter what you do, you aim on the game based on the slope, and you cannot push or pull a putt. Here you can. However, if you've got a short putt and if you hit the putt gently enough, then it will give you forgiveness because launch monitors, including GC2, don't read slow putts as accurately as they will some of the harder ones. And you'll often get a misread saying you've pushed it 3 or 4 degrees left or right on a short putt and you could miss it. And more people will end up throwing their putter. I've bent it now, I'm so annoyed. I said I would be annoyed. It deserved to be bent because I've been losing my rag lately. And more people will be damaging things. So now you've got the ability to turn that off. You think, well, why would you turn it off? Well, actually, that's to enable a slightly different way of putting. At present, you see the green, you see the contours, and I'll show you this shortly, and you aim the putting game and then try and hit a straight putt on the launch monitor. Quite a few people enjoy actually not aiming the putt in the game and having to push or pull your putt based upon the break, and that is what I'm going to show you now. Now, there are 3 other things regarding putting that have changed, and these are the physics for capturing the ball, e.g. when the ball gets to the hole, how likely is it to go in based upon the speed and based upon how off centre it is. Casual is what we've been using for some time, and it is effectively too forgiving. It's more forgiving than it would be in real life. However, it is a mode that seems, the guys on the tour, Simulator Golf Tour, and I guess developers may feel the same way, that it's a mode that is comfortable for not annoying the golfers and making putting too difficult within a launch monitor environment, which some people find very difficult because they can't visualise the putt very well. Optimistic means that, okay, it's going to be that little bit more realistic, and some people don't like the name. I quite like it, and I see it as being you're holding all these putts, and you're optimistic that actually you're just putting really well and that the physics are correct and that actually you're just brilliant today. When you're believing, you're fooling yourself into thinking that that's exactly how it should be. And that's where strict mode comes in. That makes it even harder. So, for example, as you go through those modes towards strict, I have to hit the ball that little bit more gently as it's going into the cup. If I try and ram one in, or what we call the gobbler, where the ball, you can hit it quite hard and the cup will just gobble the ball down, it's more likely to pop out or run past and basically you miss the putt. Similarly, if you're a little bit off centre, you need to be making sure that the ball hits the cup that little bit slower, just like you would in real life. So as you go through those, it's going to get harder and more realistic, and the putting stats will go down. But at the moment for the tour, we're going to stick with casual. I'm not going to show those. The other thing that's changed with updates now, the ball does interact with the hole. It can pop out, and hopefully I'll be able to show that. So without further ado, let me load up the course. Unfortunately, you can't change modes between without having to reload the round at the moment. I mean, this is brand new as of yesterday, so I'm sure that will get changed. So at the moment, this is what I would do if I was putting. I'd see this putt, I'd do the BLI, and I see massive break right to left and uphill there. Then it gets less, then less of the cup. So I would then decide, okay, that's where I'm going to aim, and I would attempt to hit straight the putt. Now I don't know the distance for this, so I'm just going to have to just hit a putt for the sake of it. But you see what I mean? And that's what I would therefore be doing. Now, with the changes, on tour there is no BLI, so when I drag around, that line will disappear. I will reload it in a moment. So effectively, I will have to simply use the dots and have a look at it. I can see the dots are faster at the front, less at the back. You know, again, I'd be guessing something like that without BLI. And again, I would be hitting the putt. Now, I'm going to deliberately put this 10 or 15 degrees left, so it would literally just miss by a mile. And you notice, well, actually, it's hardly missed. It's only just missed. I actually hit that 22 degrees left. That's because we've got the HLA assistance on. So I can't push or pull a putt more than 2 degrees left or right. I can still, if I hit it 22 degrees left, it would just start 2 degrees left, and I may or may not miss the putt. So if I reload the setting, the round, we'll go back in on the course practice, we'll go back into Bonneville, we will turn off BLI enable and HLI correct, and we'll come back in and I'll show you what the other version is like now. So if I get the ball back up on the green, similar position. Now when I drag around, I get no information on the break, so all I can use are the dots. And, you know, I can still get a lot of information. I can still see it's right to left, less, but I'm more likely to make a mistake and misread it because I may not see the subtle breaks in between the grid lines, for example. And again, I've turned off HLA assistance, so I'm going to do the same thing and put the ball 20 degrees left. That's quite a big difference from what we had before. So you can now see the way I'm going to putt is now that I've turned HLA assistance off, I'm going to think, well, actually, I'm just going to try and putt the ball 5 degrees right, maybe, and see if that's the right way. So I'm deliberately pushing it right, and it's coming back. And, you know, even if I did it hard enough, I don't think that was in. I'll have another go. Maybe a bit more right. Needed to be harder, but that makes these putts that much more difficult, and certainly with the lack of forgiveness, when you have a straight putt from, let's say, 20 feet, that is going to be so much harder to hole with that mode. So this isn't one you have to turn on like this. Normally, I would just aim it maybe there and hit the putt straight, and with the forgiveness, I'm likely to hit the ball straight and probably have a good chance of holding it. Now, with HLA off, assistance off, I have to push this 2 degrees right, maybe 1.5. Let's try. Just didn't hit the putt hard enough, but actually that was 1.9 degrees right, and it would have been quite a good putt. Now I haven't tested this. I'm now going to see if we can get the ball to interact with the cup. It means I've got to actually hit it. I've got to hit the cup. That's the. That's my yipping. 5 degrees right. I hit that. That's hilarious. So that's me just hitting it, pointing left, no forgiveness, started left. So now I'm going to push it a bit right. Missed it again. It's so much harder because that was 0.5 right. I need about 2 degrees right. Wow. Wow. I cannot get the ball in the hole. There we go. We've got one in. Let me try and hit it harder. See what's going to happen if I hit it too hard. There we go. We've got an interaction with the left side of the hole and it's popped out. Now, these are new, so maybe the physics will be good, maybe they won't, but it looks like, depending on which side of the hole you hit, it will at least interact with it, and I don't know if you can get the ball to pop straight up. Oh, got to hit the hole. Anyhow, you get the idea. Yeah, that's it really. If we can have a laugh about those, put those shocking. I was just about to try and redo the video then, but I think no, I'll leave it as is. So, yeah, mess around with those settings, play around, but on the tour it's still going to be casual, which is the more forgiving when the ball hits the hole. You can still have the HLA forgiveness because that's effectively correcting some faults of the launch monitor, though more often than not it's correcting faults of the guy holding the club, not the launch monitor, which aren't as bad as you think they are. And there's no BLI, so I'm going to go and play around now. But thank you for watching. If you've watched, please let me know if that was helpful. Goodbye.